Today, I am very happy to talk about this topic. I have actually been studying about cyberspace for a while. So, about 3 years ago, when I started doing more work into my evaluation stuff, I started going into different areas to find out how other people, how other domains, how other professions evaluate and train. One of those areas that I went into was cybersecurity. And at that time, I was doing research on cyberspace because what I know to be true is that we are very good at saying words and saying things and really not knowing what we're talking about. I have learned that many people who work in cyberspace, in cybersecurity, in information security, they won't be able to tell you what cyberspace is. They don't know because it doesn't seem to matter. They really cannot tell you what it is. One thing that I am a proponent of is finding out the definitions of things. I'm real big on that. Not just the definitions, the etymology. Where does that word even come from? Okay. I'm very big on that. Okay. So y'all going to hear a lot of that kind of stuff in here. This is Cyber Training with Ypifany, and I'm Cheryl Abram. We are changing the landscape of learning for cybersecurity. When I did my research, I found that when cyberspace was first mentioned, the word cyberspace was through a book called The Neuromancer. Okay. And in The Neuromancer, that was in 1984. So I got the book. It's science fiction. I'm not a big science fiction reader, so I wasn't really able to get through it. But I just wanted to see what it was all about. And but in The Neuromancer, he defined cyberspace as a consensual hallucination. That's what he called it. Now, if you go in the dictionary or Google or whatever to look it up right now, you'll see it defined in a lot of places as a notional space. Both of those things mean pretty much the same thing. Cyberspace is like an idea because it's not like you can pack your bags, you and your family, and book a ticket and travel to cyber. Not like you can to physical spaces. You could book your ticket and go to Hawaii or Cambodia or Africa. You can't do that in cyberspace. You can't step into, at least that's the way they're defining it. They're saying that, for example, Lord of the Rings, that's a consensual hallucination. That ain't true. It's not true. Game of Thrones is a notional space. It's not true. These people are actually in an actual place, but the story is not true. Now, what is true is the information you get, the feelings you have when you're watching some of that stuff. You're crying, you're angry. Now, those things are true, right? And they're manufactured by this notional space, this cyber space. Now, there's a difference between cyberspace and the internet. The internet happens in cyberspace. Okay. Just think about look around you. Wherever you are right now, look around. You see you are in space. Okay. There's space between you and your phone or computer, wherever you're looking at this from. There's space between you and the table. That's physical space. Now, in cyberspace, what happens is, I read this research paper. It was really good research paper. The writer talks about how there has to be first, before you even get to cyberspace, you have to first have physical space. Cyberspace is dependent on this right here, okay? Because you need the computers and cables. If you think about Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, you need physical space first before you can then create a notional environment. Any movie you go to, think about your favorite actor or actress or your favorite TV show, movie. Frasier. I love Frasier. The Office. I like The Office. Okay. I laugh my behind off at The Office. And I do that because of something called consensual hallucination. If you go in the movie theater and watch Joker right now, and you stand up and say, that's not really the Joker, that's Joaquin Phoenix, people gonna kick you out of there. Why? Because you're messing up their consensual hallucination. Consensual hallucination means you deliberately suspend your critical thinking so that you can enjoy whatever's in front of you. You deliberately suspend your sense so that you can pretend like Joaquin Phoenix is actually the Joker. Okay, so that's what it is. So that's the way cyberspace has been defined. The cyberspace you're talking about is an idea because it's not something that we can really go to. It's the space in which information travels back and forth. When you send the emails and stuff, it goes through something called, you have to have physical space before you have cyberspace. And I said, so there's another video, I'm probably going to put it on this channel too, because it's on my Ypifany channel. I talk about in that video physical space and cyberspace and how those two are connected. So because you have to have physical space first, it's all you can't neglect to talk about this when you're talking about cyberspace. In my training, when I design experiences for cybersecurity, this has to be included. People know physical space, they know exactly what I'm talking about. When I talk about being physically secure, securing your house, securing your own person, they understand that. They know that because we all know physical security. So to start there and to say, okay, that is not at all separate from your cybersecurity. The same way I'm talking to you right now. Let's say I have a secret. I have a secret. Nobody knows that secret. That secret is with me. I'm accountable. I can use it if I want to. I have complete and total control of that information. It's my secret. I let that secret out, be it by accident or on purpose. Now somebody else has that information. The thing that makes a secret, and everything that nobody else knows is not a secret. Y'all don't know what I had for breakfast this morning, okay? I'm the only one who knows that. But that's not a secret. It's not a secret at all. You don't know how old I am or what high school I went to. That's not a secret. A secret, the thing that separates a secret from just any old thing that nobody knows, right, is the instrumental value of it. The secret has dollar signs on it. It's like currency. I tell you I had a bagel for breakfast, you can't do nothing with that. If I tell you my social security number, now that has, or if I tell you this other secret I have, something else that's really juicy and important, that's something that you can use. That has what's called instrumental value. Instrumental value is something that you can use to get something. In cyberspace, that is where a lot of information that has instrumental value, and that is what InfoSec and cybersecurity professionals are here to protect. They're here to protect my secret because I know my secret has a lot of value. It's mine. I use it as my currency to get whether it's my intellectual property or, that information. I use it to run my business. Like, this is how I fry my chicken. This is my secret ingredients. I'm the only one who wants to be able to do that. This information can't get out of it because somebody else gonna be able to use it for you. That's why you got patents to protect stuff like that. Okay, that stuff is in cyberspace. All right, now just like in physical space, when people invent stuff like cars, trains, and boats, these inventions just make life easier. They make travel faster. They make it more convenient for people to get from point A to point B. Cyberspace is the same way, okay? Before, if I wanted to get you a message, I got to write you a letter. I don't know, whatever they was using back then. It just wasn't convenient. It took a long time and not as much information can get through because I had to wait for you a month to send me a letter back. Now I got to write and send you another thing back. Cyberspace has allowed information to be shared communication is just, People say the internet only made the world smaller. It made the world smaller. People find things out like that. Okay. While they're, you didn't even got to wait for CNN. Okay. You got to wait for that. CNN is on Twitter trying to find out what's going on in the world. There are a lot of inventions that we've done in cyberspace to make communication easier. If you look right now in business, what are the largest, most profitable businesses right now? What are they into? Information, Facebook, Amazon, Google. Information is the new oil. That's what they're saying. Okay. That's why cyberspace is banging. Cyberspace is popping right now. Okay. Because information is the new oil. And anywhere you got something popping, anywhere, you're going to have people with malintent. Just messing up everything. Malintent. Okay. Now, some of them have good intentions in the training that we have for the boys in cyber's future. We talk about hackers' ethics. What I understand is that hackers are not bad people. Okay. But the word hack is used to just include everybody. Okay, who's just breaking stuff down and trying to repurpose, because that's what hacking is. Hacking is repurposing something and using it for a purpose for which it was not created. I can hack this pen. This pen was created for me to write with it. But if somebody walked through my basement door and I jug them in the eye with it, I'm now using it as a weapon. I just hacked this pen to use it as a weapon. That is not what this was created for. That's all hacking is, right? And hacking is great. It's good for you to be able to DIY, do it yourself type things. There's a lot of hacks on there. So we talk about that now. People that use it for malintent, I know there are like other names for those people, crackers or something like that. But the thing is that hackers have very good intentions. And one of those is for information to be free. And what was the other one? Something about freedom in the world. It was very noble. I can't be mad at it at all. One of the things that I talk about is manifest destiny, which brought Europeans to America. That was all about being free. People want to have the right to raise their children, free religion, free speech. But when it's done by any means necessary, that's when you get atrocities. That's where InfoSec and cyber professionals need to step in and say, cyberspace, it's here. It is what it is. Information wants to be free. We want to be able to create programs that make people's lives easier. However, you got that CIA model coming in now. Confidentiality, integrity. You have to respect that Cheryl has secrets that are hers. Cheryl has things that she's created. So what we're here to do is to ensure that alienable rights are respected. Okay. That this business, okay, that their information that is of instrumental value to them, that secret sauce, they've created a whole business around it. We want to be sure that we respect this person's right to their own information, to be able to use it the way they want to use it. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to protect and defend. Now, let me tell you, this gets us to the next part. It's not just protection. There are these folks that I looked at, CyberHat. Y'all know who CyberHat is? And they talk about the difference between cybersecurity and cyber defense. So we talked about cyberspace, the notional environment where communication happens. Information just goes back and forth, and we're able to share and hear things, and the availability that cyberspace allows us for information and connection. In that environment, you want to be cyber secure, just like in your physical environment. You want to be physically secure, like my door is locked back here, my windows are closed. I want to be physically secure. You also, so you have cybersecurity and you have cyber defense. They make a distinction between these two. All right. Where cybersecurity is like you think physically, when you go, you have your monthly or yearly visits to the doctor. You go to the dentist for cleaning once a year. You go to the eye doctor. You get your blood test, check your cholesterol and all that stuff. So that's like cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is about compliance, okay? We are compliant with FISMA, with all the ISOs. We got our AWS stuff in order. You know, we have our cybersecurity budget. I learned that some banks have like $600 million for their cybersecurity budget. 600 million. Okay. My bank don't, clearly, because I was hacked in April, but we're not going to talk about that anyway. Or they may have it. Okay. Because I'm going to tell y'all like what this company did to another one. All right. So that's health. Cybersecurity is like your health, your overall health. You're complying. You're doing the yearly training. You got your security awareness training, you know, and all that stuff. Now, cyber defense, you just came from your annual checkup. Everything is good. You're good. You're going to live for another 40 years, according to your checkup. You walking down the street and somebody knock you upside your head. You were not able to defend yourself because you didn't see it coming or whatever the case. Okay. Or this person was just, you know, crazy, knocking people upside the head, whatever the reason. You just got knocked upside your head. Okay. Now you're in the hospital. You just came from a checkup saying you're going to live another 40 years. Why are you in the hospital? Because you were not able to defend yourself. That's cyber defense. You could use all 600 million plus some on cybersecurity and still have Cheryl Abrams show up in your bank saying, what the hell happened? Why is somebody using my account, sending money, and it ain't me? You see, cybersecurity is healthy behaviors. Okay, you're eating right, you're doing all the stuff you're supposed to do. Cyber defense is offensive security. Okay, it's defensive and offensive security. You're not just waiting for somebody to knock you upside the head, you know, to defend yourself. All right, you're actually out there being proactive, you know, with cyber defense, physical defense. You're out there. I'm taking martial arts lessons because in this neighborhood, people just walk up and knock you upside your head. I'm walking with a bat in my hand because in this environment, that's the kind of stuff that happens. I need to be on the defense. However, what I'm also doing on the cyber side is hacking simulations. Okay. I'm doing simulations with phishing emails to see like what kind of things get clicks in here. You know, how is my IT security awareness training actually working? All right. Everybody passed the test, but did they learn anything? Okay. That's when I do these simulations, proactive intelligence and things like that. Having a real offensive mindset. So you're not just a sitting duck waiting for somebody to knock you upside the head. I'm going looking for you. Where you at? Looking at the environment, being very proactive. Okay. Because I know what I am accountable for. I said in another video how people always be talking about users are the weakest link. No, humans are the weakest link. Humans. That includes me as a user. That includes you as a programmer. That includes whoever owns the bank. Okay. Look, there is enough accountability to go around. Promise. But that's a good thing. What I'm trying to say is that accountability is a wonderful thing because accountability is not blame. When I say you're accountable, that does not mean I'm blaming you. What I'm saying is that, hey, this is an area where you have control. Okay. This is an area where you can actually make some changes. Okay. This is an area where you have power to make something happen. And people know what hackers really want. Malicious hackers. Want to become the administrator. They want to own your system. They want to be accountable. Why? Because when you're accountable, you can control it. You can make changes. They want to be accountable for your system because they can make changes. So let me know in your cybersecurity training, security awareness. We still in Cybersecurity Awareness Month, okay? But even so, every month needs to be Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And not just awareness, because at some point we got to go beyond awareness to knowledge. You can't do nothing with awareness except be aware. It isn't until you get to knowledge where you can actually use that information. All right, so cyber security and cyber defense, two different things. They need to be talked about in different ways, and they need to be approached in different ways. Let's start with actually knowing what this space is that we're working in. Have that be a conversation in your training. One of the primary problems when it comes to cybersecurity, either cybersecurity awareness training, even if you're training people to become cyber professionals, okay? They're in there for different reasons. People get certifications for different reasons. They work for companies for different reasons. The thing is, when it comes to users and programmers or developers, whoever you're teaching, you have to design things so that they care about what they're. That takes the heavy lifting off of you as the instructor or the trainer. If I care about what I'm there to learn about, you don't have to do anything, right? I'm going to put in the work. And not just when I'm in front of you. I'm going to use my free time to learn and practice if I care. If you can help me find a reason to care about being cyber secure, just saying you should care, that's not going to do nothing. I read this book, Immunity to Change by Leahy. In this book, they talk about a study with people who'd had heart transplant surgery, or they had heart disease and they had to have surgery. The doctor would tell them, now, so this doesn't happen again, and so you can live a good quality of life, you know, and keep your heart healthy. These are some of the things you're going to have to practice. You know, you're going to have to, you know, change your diet. You're going to have to change your stress levels. You can't be as stressed as you've been. You know, something's gonna have to change in that stuff. Okay. You're gonna have to change your physical activity. You know, the physical activity will really help to, you know, strengthen your heart. Okay. They know all this. The doctor tells them, they know what they have to do to stay at the hospital, to stay out of caskets. The book, the research they did in the book, an abysmal percentage, like less than 10% of people in the study actually did anything to change. Now we're talking about people's lives. The doctor is telling you, if you don't change, you're gonna die. Less than 10%. So you think your once a year annual security awareness training gonna make these people change their behavior? Like you will physically no longer be here and they still don't change? That should tell you right there that you need more in your training. Just because you're training somebody does not mean they are learning. Training and learning are two different things. Just because somebody is sitting in front of your face, hearing sounds come out of your mouth, looking at pictures going up on the slide, that doesn't mean they're learning anything or that they're even interested in changing their behavior. In my IT security awareness training, the way they get us to do IT is they say, if you don't do it by this date, we're going to shut your computer off. Why do you think they get 100% compliance? Because people want to know about being cyber secure. Is that why you think they do it? All right, I talked about what is cyberspace, the difference between cybersecurity and cyber defense, phishing, social engineering. So we really have to do a better job of considering the human factor in cybersecurity, because the first minds that need to change, the first attitudes that need to change are yours, cyber professional. Okay? It don't matter if you train or not. Just as an infosec person, okay? A person who is interested in keeping businesses and people cyber secure, whether you're doing that as a programmer, a network engineer, or whatever else your role is, everybody has a role in ensuring that the least amount of vulnerabilities are out there. Everybody has a role. I don't care what aspect of IT you work in. It's everybody's responsibility. It's not just the person hired to do cybersecurity. Even if you're hired just to be a programmer, you have a role in keeping cyberspace secure. I'm not a law enforcement professional, but I still have a role in keeping my home, my children, my city, my state, all that secure. I have power in that regard. There are some things that I can control. So, yes, that's absolutely true. We all have a role. And it's a very important one. And it cannot be diminished just because my title does not include cyber in it. Now, this doesn't just go for cybersecurity. Okay. This goes for many professions. But I'm talking about cyber. I'm talking to y'all. You really have to have a more diverse team. I'm a social worker by profession. I have a BSSW from Salve Regina University in Rhode Island, and my master's in social work from Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. Okay. I have worked as a social worker in my beginning years. And for most of my career, I have worked in training and leadership development. Okay, with a specialization in evaluation of leadership programs. All right. I've done that. And because of that, and because now I'm working in cyber, I found this area to be very interesting, something that I really enjoy doing. I am coming with a very different perspective than somebody who has always been, that's what they've been doing this whole time. You have to get people who have different perspectives on your team. That doesn't mean you have to hire them, but if you have planning session, your strategic planning sessions that you have every year, bring people in who have different perspectives. We talk about diversity and inclusion. That's not just about how much melanin you have in your skin or where you were born. That's about how you have lived, what kind of things you've done, what other kinds of experiences you have. You want to have that kind of instrumental value, that kind of information at your table when you're having these discussions. If you want to broaden your vision, all you have is this. This all you got. Your eyes are the only eyes you will ever be able to see out of. If you want to see more, the only way is to bring other perspectives in. So now you got this set of eyes. And everybody can't be looking at IT. Okay? Bring somebody in who has another experience. Bring those kinds of people in. Include the user when you're creating your training. Include the person who's going to be there. I would have listened. If my IT department had said, look, y'all, we're trying to create some awareness training for this company. We've done crazy. We need to know what we need to do, to get the message across that this is something important. Can we have volunteers to come help us create these learning experiences. Me and many people would have been happy to participate because I couldn't stand that training. I'm just trying to get through it so I can get back to work. Couldn't stand it. Listen, I'm just telling you. You have to, on your cyber teams, any team you have, you need to add more people. You need to add more perspectives. You know, if you want to make your job easier, that's why you have things like mission statements and values, because people share, at least you think that people are there because they share the goal of the business. If you're in an organization whose mission it is to feed all the hungry children in America, if you're working there, your values probably align to that. If you're working in IT, in the cyber place, if you're working in training, if you're working in marketing, in the financial place, y'all doing different jobs, but everybody shares the same goal. So yes, I want my IT security awareness training to be what it needs to be, because right now, it seems like it's making it harder. That's how people see all those policies y'all be putting out there. I read that book, The Phoenix Project. It's really good. It's about this guy. He's appointed as the CIO in the company, and they got all kind of issues, okay, in that company. It's a really, really good book. But some kind of way, you got to figure that out. So all the support functions, right? IT training, marketing, all those support functions for the business. And I hate that they're called support functions. Y'all have just as much of a role in helping the organization meet its mission. But people don't see it that way. If all they see is that, okay, out of IT, they're gonna block some website for us to get to again. We got to follow all these rules. I got to send a message to them before I can get this thing open. You know, that's the way y'all come across a lot. And you should use your cybersecurity training. It makes no sense in the world why cyber is so important. But the only time I heard about it was when my training was required and when I saw that I couldn't get to some website or something. That's the only time that I would ever interact. I wouldn't even know we had a CIO's office if it wasn't for that, or wherever cyber sits in your organization. If you're part of the team, if you're part of the organization, then get out there and do something. Talk to people. Okay, cyberspace. Let's let people know and understand what cyberspace is and what cybersecurity and cyber defense means in those spaces for everybody, for the cyber professionals or the infosec professionals, whatever you call them, and the users. Especially if you're telling me that I, as a user, am one of the main reasons why people are able to get inside the organization, be it over the computer or some kind of social engineering. Cyber hat, I think that was the name of it, that they used was now the company that they went into to assess their security. The company had $105 million budget for cyber. They had all the stuff. I mean, they had some of the best antivirus. They hired the best person to be there, all that stuff. They had it all. They were compliant with everything. The head of this company, Cyber Hat, they were able, so they used phishing, they used payloads and social engineering. He said they spent $100. $100 compared to this $105 million budget. He said they were able to get control through like six different avenues. They were able to become administrators for stuff in that company. One of the things he showed how, I don't know if it was command prompt or something he went into where he showed Cyber Hat. So you had all these people in the company and then you saw Cyber Hat as an administrator. He said hackers don't normally do that because they try to cover their tracks, but he just wanted to put it there just to show them we were able to get in and get administrative rights to all these things in your company. One of the things they did was around the organization, they had a bunch of restaurants, right? So they created a fake website as a restaurant that was opening in that neighborhood and said, okay, if you click here, then you'll get 2 for 1 when you come to our grand opening. Yeah, I probably would have clicked something like that. 2 for 1. Listen, I'm trying to save coins too. New restaurant. If it was soulful restaurant, I sure would have clicked on it. But that was one of the things that he did. And he was able, many people clicked on that. And that's the kind of stuff that you share with your organization. This is what we did. This is what y'all clicked on. Let's talk about what you do when you do get something like this. And let's talk about how we're going to be responsive, and we're all going to work together to be sure that we remain cyber secure as an organization. I got to be a part of that team. You can't do that without me. All right, that's all I'm going to talk about that today. Next time I come back, I want to give you a specific training event. I want to talk about something specific that we're doing. Maybe I can even do some demonstrations. Thank you for listening. This is Cyber Training with Ypifany. I am Cheryl Abram. Please like this video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you back here next time. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.